I have been collecting Sonic merchandise for about 14 years now. Throughout those years, amazing things have happened. It all started with a Sonic X figure. Then one day, a Super Sonic figure was made. Along the way, I've accomplished a goal of owning one of my most wanted plushes. I began to share my collection and stories with all of you. I went from hundreds of views to thousands. I met people who worked on Sonic. I met people who love Sonic the same way I do. And in 2019, I received one of the holy grail plushes in the Sonic collecting world. One that has gotten a lot of love and praise, and one that has also created a concerning controversy. Today, in this video, this is far more than a review, because this is far more than a plush. This is a story. The story of why people love the Soap Shoes Sonic plush. Throughout Sonic history, there have been many collectibles that people have wanted that seem to almost be impossible to find. The Sonic the Fighter's Super Sonic plush, the Sonic Adventure Gamma plush, the elusive Stringy Sonic plush. These are just plushes, however. There are shirts, figures, foods, hats, games, and a whole lot of other Sonic collectibles that are highly sought after. But one may ask, why? Well, there are a number of reasons. Sometimes people want certain things because they are, or were, the only incarnations of that character for years. Fang still does not have a plush outside this official one made in the 90s. Same with Bark and Bean. There are only a few figures and plushes that depict Dr. Eggman in his Robotnik Sonic cartoon design. A lot of people buy old collectibles so that they can preserve them, as they're a part of the brand's history and want them in safe hands. And sometimes, people buy collectibles because they may mean a lot to that person. Like, I don't play Animal Crossing much at all, but I have this plush of Tom Nook because when I was younger, my mom, my brother, and my sister would play Animal Crossing on the GameCube together. I'm not an active fan of the franchise, but I appreciate it because of the memories it has given me. But out of all these plushes and figures and collectibles, there is one Sonic plush that has been the center of attention for a few years now. The Sonic Adventure 2 Soap Shoes Sonic plush. A plush that has been desired since it was released. A plush that is still incredibly difficult to find. A plush that has been recently skyrocketing in value. But for what? Why? It's just a Sonic plush. There's hundreds of Sonic plushes. It's literally just felt stitched together in the shape of something I recognize. That's all it is. Well, to some it may seem that way. In reality, it's so much more. Let's go over why this is so rare first. Well, here's a little history lesson. Let me introduce you to the Japanese UFO catchers. They are claw machine games, but in Japan only have 2 prongs and can't move in as many directions. In order to win what is in the cabinet, there is a good amount of skill required as opposed to claw machines in the US. Unlike claw machines in the US, Japanese UFO catchers usually have things of much higher value inside the machines. In the US, you may find some weird, chintzy, garbage-looking plushes. In Japan, you may find plushes made with care, for the most part. In the 90s, as a way to promote new video games, companies like Sega or Nintendo would go to plush companies and ask them to make plushes based on the games they want to sell. Fans would then see these plushes of the characters in the claw machine and want to win them. They win the prize, then they may just want to buy the game too. Now, because these were being made to promote the game and show the games in a positive light, the plushes were made of a rather good quality, usually stuffed really well, stitched with care, had unique tags, and depicted characters looking a certain way because that's how they looked in that specific game. But what's so rare about them? Well, you couldn't buy them. You had to win them. You had to earn them. You had to win these guys out of the machine. And when the game was no longer relevant, the plushes were taken out of the machine. And that was that. You couldn't find them in stores. Online shopping wasn't big yet. That was that. The Soap Shoe Sonic plush is a UFO catcher plush. Only released in Japan, only put in a claw machine, and only there for a few weeks to a few months. And then, gone. This plush is also rare because it is game specific. It depicts Sonic with his soap shoes as seen in the game Sonic Adventure 2, the game this plush was designed to promote. There are only 2 official Sonic toys where he is wearing the soap shoes. This, and the Joyride GamePro Sonic Adventure 2 battle figure. That's it. But honestly, who cares? It's just shoes. You're going to tell me this plush is rare because it has slightly different looking shoes? And at face value, yeah. But let's look at the plush for a moment. Compare it to this plush, released at the same time. Do you see a difference? I'd hope so, because one looks significantly better than the other. If you were a Sonic fan, what plush would you want? This one? Or this one? Well, probably the one that looks better, because it looks more like Sonic. It looks more like the thing that makes you happy. To go on a brief side note, let's talk about Sonic Adventure 2. What an interesting game. It's divisive. Some people love it, and some people hate it. Some will say it was the peak of Sonic games. Some will say it was the beginning of the end for the franchise. What a weird game with such negative connotations. You'd think a plush based off of this wouldn't be wanted so much. Well, that's the thing. I think every Sonic fan can openly admit Sonic Adventure 2 as a game has some flaws. While I don't think it's nearly as bad as some people claim it is, it hasn't aged well, but I like it. Let me tell you why. Sonic Adventure 2 was a game that changed me. I was young when it came out, but not young enough to not remember it. My brother got it for Christmas back in 2002 for the GameCube. I didn't really know what Sonic was, but the box looked cool. So my brother and I played it. And we played it. And we played it. And for an entire year, I watched my brother try and beat this game. For an entire year, the music was heart-racing. The levels were action-packed. The speed was insane. And City Escape was the best level to have a 2-player battle in. I'll never forget when summer rolled around. We just watched a couple cutscenes and suddenly, Sonic and Shadow took the Chaos Emeralds. My brother and I looked at each other, then back at the screen, open-mouthed, amazed. We knew what was happening. Sonic went super. And so did Shadow. And they were in space fighting something that would destroy the world with the most rocking song in video game history. He beat the game. That was 2003. It is 2019 as of this video. I was 6 then. I'm 21 now. My brother was obviously older than me, but he was young too. Now he's older too. Things change. He went to college and now works all the time. I'm in college right now. We don't see each other often, nor do we have time to talk often. But those couple months during the winters and the summers that we can, we always update each other on what cool games we've played, what's new with Nintendo, what videos we're making. And every time, year after year, somehow, some way, we always talk about Sonic Adventure 2. And to this day, we still pop it in our GameCube. One of the few GameCube games we had as a kid that still somehow works. This is the childhood copy, signed by Johnny Gioeli of Crush 40. You know, Crush 40, who sung Live and Learn. Open up the box. There's the manual. As a kid, I colored it with crayon and marker. It looks really stupid, but it was fun, you know? And you know the funny thing about my story? It's not much different from hundreds of other Sonic fans who grew up in the same era I did. This game made us fans. This game got us into the franchise. This game made us want plushes. This game, regardless of quality perhaps, means so much to so many people. Back to Plush. We covered why it's rare, but just because something is rare doesn't always mean it's wanted. So why is this plush so sought after? I mean, I could go on Amazon right now and buy a decent looking Sonic plush for less than like $20. And here's one that just sold for $900. What is the deal? Why are idiots spending this much money on stuffing and felt? Why is this thing so overappreciated and so overrated? Well, we aren't idiots. And it's not overrated. Sonic looked this way in one game. And since that game, there's never been one like it. No Sonic game has encapsulated so much energy, so much love, so much passion, so many memories. The only one to come close is Mania, which captures the old school aesthetic of Sonic. But Sonic Adventure 2 isn't old school. It's early 2000s. We were kids then, and it was a very different era. And because of that, it was a very different era for Sonic. Around the years this game came out, we only had a few more Sonic games that had this energy to it. This grunge, rebel, action movie aesthetic to it. But each game got weirder and then hit rock bottom. But Adventure 2 was that one game that may have started a trend, but survived it. There has never been another Sonic Adventure 2. I don't think any other Sonic game truly brought in as many Sonic fans as this one did. I don't think any other Sonic game did this much for a generation of fans. People want this plush because of what it means, not what it is. And ultimately, don't you buy things for what they mean to you? Don't you buy music because it makes you feel a certain way? Don't you buy a new game because it makes you happy? Don't you buy certain foods because they taste good and you like the taste? Technically, anyone could buy this random song because it's just a song. But it's not the song that means something to you. You like pizza? Well, here, have some broccoli. What? It's still food. If you like food, you'll like broccoli. You want this Sonic plush or this one? Well, you're gonna have this one. What? It's Sonic. Don't you like Sonic? Well, yeah. But it's not the plush that makes me feel a certain way. It's not the plush that encapsulates my memories with my brother from childhood to adulthood. It's not the plush that encapsulates a long-gone era of the franchise that is yet to be replicated since. It's not the Sonic Adventure 2 Soap Shoes plush. The plush is not expensive only because of its rarity. If you look at listings on eBay, rarely does anyone actually post this thing for thousands of dollars. It usually starts at like 20 or even a couple cents. It's you all that make it keep going up in price. And you know why? Because this plush is really only worth as much as it means to you. And for some people, those memories are so beautiful, so nostalgic, and so long gone that they'll pay any price just to get those memories back. That this is what they can use to hold on to them. If this plush literally holds my memories, I can physically hold on to them. This is why people love the Soap Shoe Sonic plush.